Every business needs talent, those people or that person who can just elevate your business and take it to the next level with their skills and their enthusiasm. But how do you spot that talent? How do you identify those people who will take it to the next level? I'm Kalilah Reynolds, and it's time for another episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with EXIM Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. My guest today is Brand Strategist and CEO of Garrick Communications, Naomi Garrick. All right, welcome back, Naomi.
Thank you, Kalilah.
You were on probably like episode 3 of this show, and we're now at 100 and something, so it's been a minute.
Yeah, I mean, new set and everything. I love it.
Yes, so welcome back.
Thank you.
And I've had you on other programs as well. It's always great talking to you.
You too.
Today we are talking about talent and recruiting talent. So how do you know what you need?
That's a really great place to start. So for us at our company, at Garrick Communications, because we're a boutique agency, we are looking for a diverse type of individual, right? So you think PR agency, we're looking for someone that probably went to Carrimac or studied public relations, journalism. But what I have found is that we start looking more not just at that particular skill that fits the agency, but also what are some of those other soft skills that can support other things that we do. So even though we're a PR firm, we focus on a lot of problem solving. So we look more at skills like, are you a problem solver? Are you proactive? Are you a team player? What are some of the other values that you bring to a company, just based on even on your own experience that we may not already have at our company? So we're always trying to look at how are you as an individual going to bring some additional value outside of what we already have? Because I think there's a lot of things that you can teach depending on the industry, but there are some skills that people are just born with naturally that you kind of want to tap in, that you know can actually provide that differentiator to your team.
Absolutely, because many skills can be taught.
Absolutely.
But that drive, you have to have that internally.
Passion and
that
definitely
work ethic.
And an interest in the industry.
Yes.
So for example, when we do our interviewing process, one of the questions I always like to ask is, what would you be doing in 10 years if you had the money or the resources to do whatever you wanted to do? I'm always kind of curious to know, what is your passion and what do you really want to do? Because that will also give me an indication of how long you see yourself working within this company.
Is this a stepping stone
is this just a placeholder, right? And based on whatever it is that we're doing, we want to make sure that we have the right members of the team on board that believe in our vision, they're as passionate as we are, and they want to learn and grow. So it's not coming to work with us in one position, but looking at what are all the other opportunities that are available to me, because this is an industry that I want to be a part of for a much longer time.
That's a great question to ask.
Yeah.
So, and that segues into my next question. How do you find that talent? How do you scout somebody for your company?
So that's also a great question, Kalilah. So we have tried a couple of different things, but what I've found in the last few years has worked really well for us is actually placing an ad on social media. So we've been using LinkedIn and Instagram to recruit talent. And what I've stopped doing is I don't put the skills that you would expect for a PR agency. So I put the things that are important to me. So you have, again, problem solving skills, passionate, creative, don't mind working late hours, flexible, things that matter to our industry, an eye for detail, great writing skills, a good communicator. And so we start to attract people that may not even have a degree in PR, but they have an interest, they may have some of those skills or talents, and they're excited about the opportunity. So I found that what we do is we place an ad on social media, something that's vibrant, that reflects our company and our culture and our energy. So for example, the last ad I put, I was looking for a personal assistant, and I did it almost like an SOS. So it was called Shoot Your Shot. And I put what my problem was, what I needed, and what I was looking for. And from that social media post, I got over 50 applicants for the job. And it had a nice range of people because it had people from PR, media, journalism, but it also had previous personal assistants or just people in just a wide range of careers because they were literally shooting their shot for this role. And so we start with that. And then something I actually learned through Action Coach was to do a group interview. So that means
if you have 50 people,
yeah,
you might need to do a group interview.
So we shortlist, and let's say we shortlist to maybe 8 people. What we will do is a group interview. So before the interview, before when we had in-person interviews, which I actually don't mind the fact that we can now do these quick interviews on Zoom, but we would rent, let's say, a boardroom or something, and we would invite each person, not letting them know it's a group interview. And they would all show up. We're seated in this room, and we welcome everybody. I have members from my team at the interview as well, because at the end of the day, these individuals might not be working with me directly, but they're going to be working with my team members. So I have to make sure that they are part of the process too, because they're going to tell me if they also think this individual is a right fit for our culture and for the brand that we've created. And then we prepare what we call a job offer. So it's like maybe 2 pages with all the details of the job. So that cuts down on a lot of the time that we would take answering all of these questions. It's all there on paper. So what the salary range is, hours look like, what your role would be, responsibilities. So we give everybody some time to review that. And then I allow everyone to introduce themselves, tell me a little bit more about who they are. And then I'll go into more personality type of questions because I already have your resume. I want to learn more about you and just your energy. That's very important for us as well. And see how you vibe with our team, how you relate to others in the room. And then we would ask key questions related to the industry as well. But we found that that gives us an opportunity to really see each individual and how they interact and engage before making another cut on the list for the final interview.
So all the applicants are in the room at the same time,
so it's like
and they can hear each other's answers.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's when you have to step up, right?
Yeah.
And we're in this industry where we're communicators, so you have to be comfortable, especially for PR, to be able to have these conversations, meet new people, engage and interact. And then it's great too because a lot of individuals may have similar questions, but maybe I'm the person that's more introverted, so I may not ask, but the extroverted person will. So you kind of get to answer everybody's questions at the same time. And then once that process is over, we would do a second round where we've shortlisted. We give them some time to ask any additional questions, and then we give them some kind of task. Because what we found previously when we used to hire just based on a resume where you have all these great skills, but then you remember anyone can write whatever they want and put on a resume.
Somebody else can even write it for them.
Kalilah, let me tell you, we've had some experiences with potential hires that had amazing resumes, but then when it came to actually doing the work, I was just like, where is the person that we interviewed? Like, where is the person that was on this resume? So as much as resumes are great, when I do an interview, I ask them to pretend as if I didn't receive the resume at all, so that I want to have a conversation with you. I want to learn more about your journey. So for that second round, we will maybe shortlist 3 people.
So do you have them like write a press release?
So we do
on
a
the spot?
whole campaign. And we'll do it based on something that's happening right now in the company. Because if we hire you, then we can actually activate some of the things that you recommended. So instead of just doing a press release, which again, somebody could kind of write that for you too, we may ask you to put together like a PR campaign based on something that's actually happening with one of our clients right now. So it would include the entire PR strategy, the press releases, what's outside of the press release, because for us, we're very big on PR being much more than a press release. So we want to see what else can we do that will actually get this brand to be seen, heard, and experienced by their ideal target audience. So that gives us an idea of how your thinking process is like, because of course I'm going to ask after, why did you think of this concept, or why you think this would work? So that has really worked for us. And since we started implementing that way of doing our recruiting, we have found really great team members that have worked really well for the company and for the brands that we work with.
So it's a very involved process.
It is.
How long does this take? It sounds like it takes a while.
Not really, because let's say resumes come in 50, I can quickly get an idea of who we're looking for based on even just a cover letter. So that's very important, guys. That cover letter sets the tone. So if you're going to send me a cover letter that's not even addressed to me, or it's
No cover letter
spelling
at
is
all.
incorrect or no cover letter at all, then I'm already not going to look at the resume. Especially because we're in communications, there are just some things that are standard. So we get the resumes shortlist by going through quickly with the team, and then we do the group interview. Once that's over, we pick maybe 3 or 5 people, you do your test, we check it out, and we pick who our person is. So it's not really long. And now with Zoom, you could just do a Zoom group interview.
I never forget the time I asked for a writing sample and the person sent me a photo of their handwriting.
What? Kalilah.
One of the applicants sent a photo of their handwriting.
But you know what the thing is? What I realized, Kalilah, just based on that comment that you just made, some of the younger people, they just don't know. They don't know how to show up for an interview, right? So I've had some really interesting situations. I remember someone came for an interview at my office, and they were maybe 25 to 30 minutes late. There was no apology. They were dressed in slippers and socks.
No.
Yeah, swear to God, swear to God. When the gentleman came through the door, my team didn't realize that he was coming for an interview because slip. And he just didn't think, and he saw an ad for a job, thought he could do it, and he showed up. So it ended up being not an interview, but more of me trying to give some guidance to say, he didn't know anything about my company. Or who I was.
But he thought he could get the job.
You didn't do a quick Google search.
Oh my goodness.
So then that shows a lack of interest to me, right? So I think there are some really key things that even potential employees just need to do. Like if you want to work for a company, you need to at least know a little bit about the company. And hopefully if you know who's the interviewer, like just check them out on LinkedIn. Like just have some information so if they ask you, you're prepared. And you actually have answers and solutions to their problems because you did the research.
Yeah. Do you use an HR company or HR, maybe a contractor to help in this process?
No, we've never done that. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I've been the person that's very involved, and I think because my core value is relationships, and that's a core value for the company as well. And so I really want to be able to get to know who the different individuals are, especially because my company is so small, right? We're a boutique, but for us, boutique really just means small. So I want to be a part of that process to make sure that we do have the best fit. As we continue to grow and expand, maybe that's something that we could look to because HR is not our business.
Yeah.
So getting a professional to assist us with things we may not know about, I think could be great for us as well.
I've been considering hiring somebody to do like the KPIs, the key performance indicators, the job description.
Yes.
So we'd still do the hiring, but they do the documentation that helps guide us in the hiring.
And I think there are definitely agencies and even individuals that offer those services. I may actually look into that too, because I would like to focus more on what I do well, and that's not necessarily my best area. I mean, I know what I want, but I'm sure there are other areas that a professional will be able to assist with. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience and your strategies, Naomi.
Thank you.
We'll talk again soon.
Thanks,
I'm
Kalilah.
sure.
Awesome.
Here's a recap of Naomi's key points. Make sure the talent you hire has a high interest in the industry. You can search for talent on social media such as Instagram and LinkedIn. However, make sure that when you advertise a vacancy on social media, you clearly state the skills that are important for the business. A group interview can cut down on time. And give each person a task during the interview to see if they can truly perform as their resume suggests.
That's it for this episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with EXIM Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. Check out their website, eximbankja.com, and check out my website, KalilahReynolds.com, for a summary of this episode. Till next time.
Let's get this money.